Today, I'm so excited to bring you along as we cozy up the house for the season. I'll be adding those warm, inviting touches that make fall feel so special, styling a few key spaces, and of course, sharing one of my favorite crock-pot meals. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Lifestyle with Melonie Graves, where I share stylish and creative ideas to help you do what makes you happy in your home. And just like that, the fall season is quickly approaching. It's definitely my favorite time of year because of all the joy that it brings with the changing of weather, cooler temperatures, sweaters, coffee, candles, crock pot creations, all the yummy things. So today I'm going to be sharing a decorate with me video. I'm going to show you a couple of different ideas to help get you inspired. I am going to be reusing what is really my favorite fall garland of all. You've seen me show you this before, styling the mantle and maybe styling my front door entry. I don't remember, but I'm going to use it to restyle the front door entry. Gonna do something a little bit different on the mantle this year. And if you're new here, one of my favorite things to do for my subscribers in the fall is to share delicious, savory, easy crock pot meals. So I'm gonna kick things off today by getting something going in the crock pot, and then we're gonna get to decorating. Let's get started. So one of my absolute favorite things about the fall season is all the delicious foods. And when the kids go back to school and their schedules are getting busy, I find that crock pot creations are just a game changer. They save time. And it's just a wonderful thing, I think, for the family to come home to because the house smells so good when something's in the crock pot. So I'm keeping it super simple today. I'm going to show you how I do my beef stew in the crock pot. So you can see here I've got a plethora of vegetables that are all prepped. I'm going to show you how I season them and let the crock go. Normally I'll use a packet of just a basic packet of beef stew seasoning, but today I found a new one that I'm going to try, so I'll let you know at the end of the video what we think about this one. But yeah, let's get this going and we're going to start decorating. So I start by chopping up all of my vegetables. So we're adding onion and carrots and celery and of course the potatoes. I use a basic beef stew seasoning. Today I'm actually trying a different brand. It's this Kinder's. It was on sale, so I figured I'd give it a try. You'll also need some beef stock. And then I go ahead and season the beef with a little salt and pepper. Of course, you'll season it to taste, but I don't go too overboard because all of the flavors from the vegetables are going to seep in there. It's going to be so yummy. So then start loading in your vegetables. And then once I'm done with that, I take my beef broth. Now, you can use 1 to 2 cups of the beef broth, just depending on how many vegetables you're using. Today I'm using 2 cups because I've got a lot more vegetables in there. And all I do is mix that seasoning into the beef broth and then pour it over everything. Now you can set your crock pot on low for 8 hours or high for about 4 or 5 hours and let it work its magic. Your kitchen is going to smell amazing. Now let's get decorating. Like many of you, I like to start the season off with a little window shopping to get some inspiration. This year I'm seeing so many beautiful deep greens on trend. I went through Pottery Barn and they have really gorgeous pillows and colors this year. I was so inspired. This one really caught my eye. But it was so nice to walk through the store and see everything. The florals just makes my heart feel all warm and fuzzy. So once I got home and started decorating, I pulled out this garland. I didn't realize that I've used this garland so much in my past videos, but I love it. It's just so unique, and I love the way that the designer pulled in some of those pink and blush tones into the warmer, brown and green fall traditional colors. And it just looks so lovely in my home. So it's really starting to take a beating, but you'll see What I do with some of those picks that have started to fall out of the garland, I'm going to incorporate them into something else creative later in the video. Something else that's on trend this year are these squishy velvet pumpkins. So I went to Hobby Lobby and right now they're having that 40% off sale. So I grabbed a bunch of the smaller ones and I thought it would be pretty to make kind of a pumpkin patch, if you will, here at the bottom of the garland, and that maybe it would be a pretty place to take pictures. With my kids, they're teenagers now, but they're always taking pictures. So I set it up, and I think it turned out really pretty. So what I'm going to do now is just let some music play, let you enjoy watching the process. And then in the next part of the video, I'm going to come in and give you a little tutorial on how I styled some hurricanes. I picked this vase up, I want to say last year at Target. I'll try to link everything that I'm using that's still available down in the description box. But these florals I picked up from there as well, and I'm reusing them. I'm pretty sure they are back this year, but look how pretty those colors are. Usually I will style the mantle with the garland, but I decided against it this year. I just wanted something a little more simple. And when I started styling the mantle, I used these candelabras, but these were just placeholders because I ordered something new that I wanted to try, and it hadn't arrived yet by the time I started doing this, but I'll show you later in the video the finished look. Don't you just love pulling out all of your seasonal pillow covers? It brings me so much joy to just look at how my collection has grown over the years and to get creative with how I will mix in some of the old with some of the new. So you can see here I've got lots of the rustic oranges and browns and even some grays. But this year, like I said earlier, I saw a lot of green on trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one that I got a couple years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago from Pottery Barn, because it's got some of those rustic orange blends in there. And of course, I picked up a couple of new ones on Pottery Barn. This one I thought was so pretty. It looks like it's textured, but it's actually smooth. So don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it is green. And then I really loved that plaid one that I saw too. So I grabbed that one as well. Time to check on dinner. It's been about 4 hours. You know, once you open the crock pot, you really should be ready to rock and roll. But because I used so many vegetables, this one wasn't quite done enough. I like for the beef to be super tender. It was almost there, so I actually let it go ahead and crock for another hour. Now, these are the holders that I was waiting for when I styled the mantle the other day to come in. They come in a set of three, or you can get them in six, or maybe even nine, but I'll have them linked. I thought they were so lovely. They're real easy to put together, and they worked out really well. Okay, now we're gonna have some fun with this. I'm gonna show you a couple of different ideas to style these hurricanes. These are one of my favorite pieces. I got them, gosh, probably about 10 years ago from Pottery Barn, but they're just the classic piece. They never seem to go out of style. The wood base is so lovely this time of year. So I'm going to do something simple with them. But first, I thought it would be fun to give you a little hurricane background information. Have you ever wondered why hurricanes are called hurricanes? Larger candle holders are called hurricanes because they were originally designed to protect candles' flames from being blown out by wind or drafts, much like a small, clear storm shelter for light. So the term comes from the 19th century when hurricane lamps referred to oil or kerosene lamps with tall, protective glass chimneys. These chimneys shielded the flame from their strong air currents, like those of a hurricane, so it could burn steadily indoors and outdoors. So over time, the term hurricane expanded beyond oil lamps to include decorative glass or metal holders, often tall cylinders or globes that perform the same function for candles. Today, the name is more about style, so the tall, enclosed, protective pieces rather than the actual need to survive extreme weather. So you can see here, I am using some sheet moss, and I'm just going to cover the base of that hurricane. You know, these are so much fun to style because you can get so creative. You really don't need the sheet moss, right? You could just, for a more modern look, let that silver base kind of show through. But I wanted to give this a little more texture. So we're going to style it with the sheet moss. And then if you remember earlier, I said some of the stems were starting to fall out of my garland, but they're so beautiful. So, you know, don't throw those away. You can either reuse them, reattach them to the garland with some hot glue, or you can use them to repurpose throughout other parts of your home. So here I'm using multiple candles in this hurricane, and then I'm going to incorporate the stems in as well. See, it's so simple, but look at how lovely that turned out. And it makes such an impact when you're walking into the kitchen. They're just beautiful during the daytime or in the evening. Now, this look could certainly carry you through the entire season, but if you wanted a different look, maybe closer to Thanksgiving, instead of using candles, you could use filler. So you could get some of the mini pumpkins, some acorns, some eucalyptus, some of your favorite things, and style the hurricanes that way. So let me know in the comment section which look is your favorite. And let's get the conversation started. Have you started styling your home for fall? Are you using any of the trending colors, the greens in your home this year? Let me know. And if you got at least one new idea from this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a way to show your support and to make sure you're seeing all my content. I had a great time today with you. I hope you did too. Until next time, love and peace.